A healthy Cincinnati squad and a healthy Elly De La Cruz has this team feeling motivated as we stop by Reds camp on a cloudless day in Goodyear, Arizona. Welcome to 30 Clubs, 30 Camps. He's Jake Peavy, I'm Siera Santos, and this team made it to the postseason for the first time since 2020 last year, Jake. And you have to imagine that if they're going to make it back again this year, it has a lot to do with their starting rotation because it's filthy.
Well, it's why we thought they had a chance to go far in the playoffs, is because of Hunter Greene at the top, Andrew Abbott. These are two all-stars, young into their career, still getting better. Lodolo, Brady Singer right behind him. That's some experience. I watched Lodolo throw some complete games last year. It's going to round out between some Burns, Louder, Williamson down there, giving that to Pagan at the end of the game. Pitching should be a strength for the Cincinnati Reds.
And there's still a battle for that fifth spot in the rotation. One thing that stood out to me as well, Tito Francona said that this is the easiest clubhouse he has ever managed. The addition of a veteran like Eugenio Suárez, that has to figure into it, right?
I can imagine all of these guys got a huge shot in the arm when they saw the signing of Gino coming behind in the lineup. Elly De La Cruz, Gino. Gino hit 50 homers almost in the big leagues last year. He's in a good place to hit. Positive vibes only is what Gino's about. He's adding to a lot of positive vibes that are already here.
In a trip to the 2026 postseason, it's definitely going to have to factor in their superstar, Elly De La Cruz. Elly, I know you were dealing with an injury towards the back end of last season, but oh my gosh, so far in spring, you look amazing. How are you feeling?
Great. I put a lot of work in the offseason, so I feel 100% right now.
She just mentioned the injury. I watched you tough it out and play through that. What's it mean to you to be out there every day for the squad?
It means a lot because I want to make sure we win every day. So I know that we can win if I'm out there. So I want to be out there every single day.
With the leadership from Tito on down to the talent, yourself, adding Gino, I believe you guys are poised to make a run at the Central. You believe in what has to go right for the Cincinnati Reds to win the Central?
We just gotta keep the teams together. So I think with Gino we got a lot of more opportunities. I think we got
some protection.
Yeah, I got some protection, and I think we got a really good team right now.
What is Gino like as a teammate?
Fun. He's really fun, and he like to keep us all together. So and I like that.
Have you guys gotten to do any team building activities, go out to dinner?
We went out to dinner, and it was fun.
Who picked up the tab? Who picked up the check?
Gino.
That's a veteran right there.
Yeah.
You talked about eating well in the off season. You're also eating well here. I hear you have a personal chef. Who is it?
My brother, my twin brother.
Your twin brother. What's the best meal he cooks for you? Or what is the number one thing that you ask him to cook?
I don't ask him to cook. He just do whatever he wants because everything is good.
Everything's good?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite dish that he makes?
Favorite dish?
Favorite plate?
They're all good. But I like moro guandule
Okay.
con coco. Yeah.
I love it.
Any personal goals for you? Personal goals? Stay healthy?
Stay healthy the whole year.
Stay healthy the whole year?
Yeah.
Eat a lot of food?
Yeah, healthy food.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Elly. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Elly,
Appreciate it.
pleasure, buddy.
Thank you.
When Hunter Greene is on the mound, he's one of the most dominant pitchers in the league. A right groin strain required 2 separate IL stints in 2025, but this spring, he's feeling 110% and working on a new pitch. Here's Jake with the Reds ace.
All right, Hunter, I've seen you since your debut. First off, thanks for joining us. Been a pleasure to watch. 24 and 25, we just saw you took monster steps forward. Sub-3 ERA in the big leagues. In your ballpark is big numbers. Tell me something, or maybe the most important thing that you've learned to carry your success this far.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Specifically in our ballpark, whiff. Trying to miss some bats. I mean, that's a big focus, I think, for the whole staff and even our relievers and in general as the pitchers is trying to miss bats. And it's tough to do. You know, it's big leagues. You got the best hitters in the world, but I think trying to figure out what our repertoire is and how we can use it and use it to our advantage, try and get balls on the ground as well. I don't really get ground balls too much, but trying to keep the pop-ups, shallow pop-ups, and not get too deep in the outfield.
Well, you're throwing that two-seamer. You got to throw a two-seamer to get those ground balls, and I think you may be working on that, I hear?
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I picked it up in the off-season. It's been great so far in spring training. Got my first game tomorrow, so I'll get a little bit more feedback with the hitters. But yeah, to be able to have something to run in on the hands a little bit and play the split off of will be exciting.
And you don't have to throw it as hard. In a 2-0 count, if they think the four-seamer's coming, you take a little bit off the two-seamer. 6-3, we'll get the next guy. I asked you about your stablemates. You're certainly a number one. You're an all-star, but Andrew Abbott, all-star for the first time. You start putting you guys at the top with Dolo, Brady Singer, and on Chase Burns, to name just a few. That's 5, though. Pretty good ones. Talk about why you think you guys can be as good of a staff in the big leagues.
And we've continued to, like I said, make adjustments and figure out if we can pitch well in Great American, we can pitch well anywhere. And I think we've adopted that mindset and the execution as well. So. It's a great group, and you know we've had a great relationship and friendship, but I think we've taken a step forward on the accountability aspect and being able to have those conversations where we all know our intentions are pure and we want to just see the best potential out of each other, and we're able to have a little bit more of those difficult conversations of, hey, I think, you know, what do you think about this, or hey, I noticed this about you. Maybe you got to finish a little bit more on a pitch, and we know our bodies so well, so they probably already know that, but maybe it just is some affirmation or just having that conversation, I think has allowed our friendship to take another level, and it'll help on the performance side as well.
Keeping you a long time, but I need to ask you this because, look, the kids from all ages up into big leaguers, I want to know when Hunter Greene's in trouble, when you don't go out there and you have your best and you're fighting it a touch. Is there anything you think about mechanically that gets you right? Is it getting your foot down? Is it shoulder? What do you do when things aren't going well? Because inevitably, if you're pitcher, you're going to get out there and not have it. And it's a lonely place to be standing on that mound.
Sometimes more than you're going to have it. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Tell me how you get it back together, or just advice for somebody who is struggling.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think guys can get a little too caught up with big adjustments, big body adjustments, right? And it's tough to do that at the highest level. I think for me, a key is my hand. How do I get my hand to the right spot? And that's the last thing that's on the ball, right? Is the last minute trying to find my release point. If I'm thinking about my leg too much, or my upper half, or my shoulder, I think it's a little bit too big of an adjustment. We're all really good athletes, but we can get into that rut a little bit too much. So a hand, for me, is trying to find that, right? And if I can find my hand and sync that up, I'm usually in a pretty good position, and that's a small adjustment on my end. That helps a lot.
I love it. Aim small, miss small type deal. I'll tell you this, young people, we don't have a better human being on and off the field in the game of baseball. Pull for this guy. Hunter,
thank you.
Pleasure to see you, my man.
Greene is a prime candidate to take home some hardware this season, so which Reds player will finish highest in their respective award voting in 2026? Elly De La Cruz, Hunter Greene, Andrew Abbott, or Sal Stewart? We'll get you your answers later in the show. The Reds' biggest offseason move came when they signed Eugenio Suárez to a one-year, $15 million contract. Suárez is back in Cincy after playing 7 seasons with the Reds and hitting 30-plus homers in 3 of those seasons. Gino, back in Cincinnati, what's it like being around a team and being back in an organization that you know so well?
I feel great. I have much love with this team. I spent 7 years of my career in Cincinnati, and this is my second round. I feel so good to be back and see my old family, and it's very nice to be back and be around the guys.
I think the only one that's happier is maybe your daughter.
She's so happy.
She stayed a Reds fan?
Yeah, she's still. She say all the time. She said that she born in Cincinnati. She loves Cincinnati. She cheered for Cincinnati, and she always say, "Let's go Reds." So it's something that is special for me as a dad. She feel proud to be a Cincinnati boy, and for me, it's great. It's great to be back and see see my daughter, my wife face.
Yeah.
They're very happy to be back, so it's very special.
49 homers last season. You told me when I saw you at D-backs in the middle of the season that the power was coming from the ponytail. You don't have a ponytail anymore, Gino. So where's the power coming from now?
Now it's coming from my heart. I want to say that. It's
Okay.
from here, something that I had inside of me. You know, it's a gift. God been good for me. He gave me the power, and now I gotta use it. Now for the ponytail, I have my long hair. I might be coming back soon.
Okay, we could see it.
Yeah,
we'll let it grow out. We'll see.
We'll let it grow out again.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
What's it been like working alongside Elly?
It's been awesome. You know, he's a great kid. You know, superstar. I think be around him and all the energy he has, even in practice, you see, I think hitting behind him is very special. I see last 3 days how good he is, and play with him and with the whole group. I think we got a really good group, but he's a very special. He make a baseball look so easy. The way he play, the way he run the base, the way he prepare himself, and I think we are in front of a superstar.
What about Tito? Because you hear how much guys look. You instantly smiled when I said the name Tito.
I mean, Tito. You know, it's for me. I want to say this, and it's a dream come true because I want to play again with all four. For me, he's a Hall of Fame manager.
Yes.
He's a really good manager. But now that I know him, now that I have that opportunity to talk to him, how good he is as a person, and the way he treats everybody is awesome. And for me, it's very special to be around him and play for him. And this year going to be so special for us.
See, you smiled right away when I said his name. That's the instant reaction, and it's also the instant reaction when I mention your name as well. People smile because of your radiant positivity. So happy for you, Gino. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, the fifth spot in the rotation is up for grabs. The Reds 1 through 4 is solidified, and it's nasty. This core is holding each other accountable and having honest conversations. And here for another pitching convo is Jake with Andrew Abbott, who is coming into this year off his first All-Star nod.
All right, Andrew, I've seen you since your debut. Calm, cool, and collected on the mound. 6 scoreless in your debut, and right after that, some more scoreless outings. Where does the composure come from?
I think it's just being even keel in my life. You know, everything else has been it's a fun ride. You know, this is the mecca of the sport. This is where we want to do. This is our dream. I think getting to that point, just smiling and enjoying it, and then, you know, letting the results be what they may. And if you had that stuff, you're going to do it.
Aggressive in the zone. What's the mentality that you went into those starts with? There's going to be a lot of kids this year make their debut. How do you take on that big of a challenge mentally? What was your thinking?
You know, I think you don't bite off more than you can chew. I think everybody knows who they are. We're all unique in some way. You know, do what you're great at. I think that's the big thing. I mean, if you're a strike thrower, then throw strikes. If you're a guy that can overwhelm people with stuff, then overwhelm people with stuff. I think that's what made you special. That's what got you to this point, and there's no reason to change that.
So who is Andrew Abbott for people that want to know? How would you describe your style of pitching?
Well, I'm not going to wow you, but I can put 5 pitches in the zone. I like to be Mr. Consistent. I want to be reliable. I want to be every 5 days calling the number for however many pitches you need me to throw. And, you know, I want to make 30, 32 starts a year. And, you know, we're trending up that way, and we want to continue to be that way.
Watch Chase Burns. You're exactly right. I watched Chase Burns come out and just wow in his debut. Talk about Chase maybe at the back end of that rotation as well.
Is he fun to watch? I mean, woof. That kid's got all the talent in the world. I think he's learned some new pitches. He's going to throw more strikes. He's going to get those in. I think that's going to change the game with him. But he's got the stuff to be a Cy Young, and I don't think it's a dark horse Cy Young. I think it's an out-in-front Cy Young. And, you know, I'm excited for the kid, and if he keeps his head on the shoulders, he could be a 10-time All-Star and sitting here talking about Hall of Fame one day.
Pitching-wise, I want to know when you're out on the mound, Yankee Stadium in the middle of not your best start, pulling it together. What's something mechanically you think about, or what's something that pulls you back in? Is it a mechanical tick? Is it something you can think about? What gets you right, or a chance to get you right when things aren't perfect?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to have a lot of good mentors in my life, one of them being Billy Wagner, as you would know. And he always emphasized the breath with me, just kind of taking a step. I know we have the pitch clock, so we can't walk around and buy time like we used to, but just close your eyes and take a breath and really just sit back and smile. I mean, you're at the height of the competition. You don't need to make it any harder than what it already is. And I think just having that and going back to when I'm 14 and he's giving me that message has been super impactful, and I can't thank him enough.
I love it. Kids out there, don't forget to breathe. If you breathe, be an all-star like Andrew Abbott. Siera?
The Reds have 4 prospects on the top 100 list, including infielder Sal Stewart, who made his MLB debut last September. A natural third baseman, he has been making strides to transition to first. Terry Francona says he's the most advanced young hitter he's ever seen. And speaking of Tito, time for the manager interview presented by Sage, and for that we are welcomed in by Reds skipper Terry Francona. And Tito, last season you guys got that taste of the playoffs. How do you get back there again this season?
Well, the object isn't just to get back, but it's to stay around a little more than 10 minutes. I mean, I told our guys, hey, remember how good it felt that day in Milwaukee to pop champagne? But also remember 3 days later, we got sent home before we wanted to. Remember how that felt too. And you know, our goal isn't to win 83 and sneak into the playoffs. But as long as our trajectory is going this way, I'm okay with what we did, as long as we're going this way.
So obviously the goal is to win the division. What has to go right in your mind for this team? I love the addition of Suárez, but what goes right for you guys to win the Central?
You know, when I came here, I thought, well, you know, you want to stay away from the East, you want to stay away from the West, because, you know, the Central's pretty damn good.
They are. We just left Chicago.
Yeah, and Milwaukee, yeah. So you got your hands full there. But if we just do what we do, like last year, when we played good, clean, crisp baseball, we generally gave ourselves a pretty good chance to win. And when we didn't, it didn't matter who we were playing, we probably lost.
Tito, you are not looking beat up in the slightest. You look fantastic. Okay, tell me about, we asked all these guys, okay, what's your off-season workout routine? What's been yours?
I swim because, you know, I'm so many surgeries deep that the non-contact, you know, stuff like the days of jogging. But I swim every morning here, and when I do that, it allows me to come out in the field and actually do a little coaching and not limp around as much. As long as I do that, I'm okay.
And Pilates? Are we gonna pick up the Pilates?
Yeah, we're gonna, yeah, because Robin will beat my ass if I don't. But we're gonna work into that.
How huge is it to have a healthy Elly De La Cruz back?
We got to keep him healthy. And I didn't do the best job last year of managing him. You know, he played in every game, and it was really important to him. And I respect that so much, and I actually love it. But I'm gonna need to keep an eye on him just so he can have a little more in the tank later in the year. And I kind of whiffed on that one last year, and I take responsibility for that.
I love your staff because you have that. You have big power at the end, or at the top, but Abbott's field too.
Abbott, yes.
I tell them all the time, Tito, hitting is timing, pitching is just disrupting that time.
And you know this better than me. There's nothing wrong with getting a nice ground out to second on the first pitch of an inning. Like just a little something off the end of the bat. You know, everybody's falling in love with missing bats, and I get it. But getting a nice, quick, you know, 10-pitch inning is great.
Me and Hunter Greene had the conversation earlier. Have you ever thought about throwing an 0-0 easy two-seamer?
Little
a couple
BP
mile an hour?
fastball.
2-0, guy wants the heater, take a little off. 6-3. I love it.
I love it. And you know how
it's a lost art.
Because I know how I feel when we make the first pitch of an inning and out, like, oh man, this might be a tough inning. It goes on the flip side when it's in your favor.
Of course.
Tito, we could talk to you all day, but I know you got stuff to tend to. Thanks so much for doing this.
Guys, it was fun.
Always pulling for you.
Thanks, man.
We asked you earlier in the show which Reds player will finish highest in their respective award voting in 2026. We asked, you answered. Nearly 40% of you said Sal Stewart will win the NL Rookie of the Year award. All right, Jake, it's time for us to do our bold predictions. And I don't know how bold mine is, but I feel like it might be a little safe. You can tell me. I think that Tito wins his 4th Manager of the Year award. You see these guys, how they love him, how they respect him, how he manages the clubhouse. If this team can make it to a postseason push and they have a strong season, I'm counting on Tito.
Well, if you're counting on Tito, my bold prediction is happening as well. This team not only gets into the playoffs this year, they win a series or two and make a serious run, if not a world title run, behind Tito. This is the expectation. When you bring these veteran coaches, the people around Tito are speaking one language. They want a title. Cincinnati got talking to by Eric Davis of what it means to be a Cincinnati Red yesterday. What it means is it's title town. These boys are not going to get into the playoffs. They're going to win a series or two in serious contending.
I like our chances. I think we roll this back when we get closer to, August. and we see how it's panning out.
This team has too good of leadership. The youth and the talent and the attitude is where it needs to be.
Well, that is going to do it for us from Reds Camp, 30 clubs, 30 camps. He's Jake Peavy. I'm Siera Santos. See you next time.